everyone, welcome firstly to the first panel of BW Retail World's second edition Building Blocks of Retail Summit. So we have our first panel and very crucial panelist in it. Starting off with our first panel when we talk about consumers. Consumers at the core, to the core of consumers. We start with everything at the consumer level, what the consumer needs, what the consumer wants. So firstly, I would quickly want all our panelists to quickly give a brief introduction.
My name is Sanjay Bhutani. I'm Managing Director of Bausch Lomb India and also looking after the SAARC countries. So we are a ophthalmology company into contact lenses, lens care. We've got cataract, refractive equipments, and a small aesthetics business for skin tightening, wrinkle reduction and all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mayank Mohan. I'm the partner and CEO of Mohanlal Sons. Mohanlal Sons is India's oldest retailer. We are into men's and kids celebration and formal wear. I'm a fourth generation entrepreneur and now we are spread across 20 different cities.
Hi, I'm Rajat Agrawal. I'm the CEO of Barista Coffee. As most of the audience would know, we are the leading cafe player in India with about 400 odd stores, managing across 100 plus cities. We're the largest business out of Sri Lanka as well. And we have been the pioneers of coffee culture in India, have been in existence for the last 23 years.
Good afternoon, friends. My name is Rajesh Jain. I am the MD and CEO for Lacoste India. Many of you would know what Lacoste is. It's an international premium lifestyle brand. Those who do not know about Lacoste, they can just look at me. I am almost like a walking Lacoste ambassador. I am wearing all my things Lacoste, from footwear to my polo. So that's it about me.
Hi everyone, I'm Rahul, co-founder at Beanly Coffee. Beanly is an online-first coffee brand in the FMCG sector with presence across all online channels, marketplaces, quick commerce, now foraying into the offline space. And yeah, that's about me.
Hello everyone, I'm Rajesh Dewani. I'm from a company called Avit. So we have two verticals, Avit Digital and Avit Lifestyle. So we are into very different categories of technology and lifestyle. So we, as Anurag just said about sleep, we started selling sleep 15 years back, getting into India the world's most expensive mattresses called Hastings. And we are still selling, and I really appreciate Anurag for taking sleep so seriously.
Thank you all our panelists. So when we talk about the retail landscape, when we talk about consumer centricity, when our interesting topic from consumers at the core to the core of consumers, Mr. Rajesh Jain, if I would like to, how do you define the shift from consumers at the core to the core of consumers in your business model? How would you say that shift, that transition has taken place?
Thank you, Reema. So first of all, I would like to say, I think consumers have always been at the core and they will always remain at the core. There is no way that the consumers cannot remain at the core, especially for retail. What is happening is now that we are trying to reach out to the core of the consumer also. It is not that it was not there earlier, but now I think the pace at which we are trying to reach out to the core of the consumer is quite different, quite fast. And the reason is very clear because the consumers are evolving very fast. There is nothing called loyalty. If you don't reach out to the core of the consumer, to the soul of the consumer, they'll just turn away. If I look at the phrase itself, the core of the consumer, I think I can divide it into two parts. One way it could be divided as core set of consumers. The other could be the heart of the consumer. When you talk about the core set of the consumer, I would say that what we have been trying to do is that as you would know that we are a very well respected and very well received brand in the country and across the world also. When I say that there is no loyalty in today's consumer, but I'm very proud to say that at least about over 63% of our customers are repeat customers, and we are very happy about that. We have a defined program called Club Lacoste program. It's a very successful loyalty program. We reach out to that core set of consumers separately with the dedicated specialized messages for them only. We don't believe in reaching out to the consumer and intruding upon their privacy everywhere and anywhere. but we do some targeted marketing to them. On the other hand, which I think is more relevant in today's discussion, is the the soul of the consumer, the heart of the consumer. What we do is we believe in something called 3 C's. So 3 C's is I would define them: collection, convenience, and care. When I say collection, so if we look at just a few years ago, like just about a decade ago, if you had a good product, decent pricing, you have a good place to showcase your products, then the consumers would come and they would buy your products. That is called collection. That collection has significantly gone up today. We have to keep bringing that freshness into the stores and online also, so that the consumers keep coming again and again. Similarly, we have to keep playing with the kind of fabrics that we use. So the collection has to be extremely good and extremely fresh, so that the consumers in fashion category specifically, they need to come back to you again and again. Second thing, convenience. Now, especially after 2014 mid, when online started entering India, we see a lot of boom in online retail. Consumers slowly and gradually, and especially after COVID, has got used to the idea of buying anywhere, anytime, at his convenience or her convenience. And that has brought a lot of challenges for the retailers also. From consumers' perspective, it is just a simple thing, buying anywhere, anytime. It should also be omni-channel, it should also be multi-channel. But for a retailer, there is a lot of work to do. I think we have done a lot of work in that field also. We are present online, we are present offline, we are present in travel retail, city retail, MBOs, EBOs, and all of them are mapped with each other in 2 perspectives. One is in terms of inventory, which I don't want to take too much of time there, but I don't think omni-channel from inventory mapping perspective has been very successful. But maybe that I'll take up some other day or maybe subsequently. But mapping in terms of, we look at the customer as one customer. We believe a lot in one brand, one voice. So whatever merchandise, whatever pricing, whatever end of season sale discounting, that is available across the channel in the similar manner, whether offline, online, city, airport retail or travel retail, everywhere is the same thing. So from that perspective, convenience, providing convenience to the customer has become extremely important. Third, and one thing that is becoming very important even for Indian consumers now, as Anurag also put it, is the care. Care, when I talk about, it's care for the environment. A lot of customers are becoming very aware of environment responsibility. As brand, we have defined timelines to reduce our carbon footprint over a defined timeline by a certain percentage. And with that thought, we have brought a lot of new merchandise also into our system, which could include, let's say, recycled fabric, which could include organic cotton fabric and those kind of things, which has been received very well by the customers. In fact, customers are also willing to pay a little extra for those kind of products which care for the environment. So I would say, given these 3 C's, collection, convenience, and care, we are able to attract the customers again and again to our stores and to our online channel.
Lovely. So Mayank, on these grounds, if I would like to understand from you, I mean, Rajesh sir has already covered a lot of aspects on it, but if I come to you, that this transition from consumers at the core, like wherein consumers were given priority, but now consumers are the only priority. What they need is what the brands or the retailers are serving in today's date. How has this impacted in your business model? How would you per se that?
So, as Rajesh has already put it very well, agar customer ke dil tak pahunchna hai, one of the simplest things that any of us can do is to smile at the customer when they enter. So customer service plays a very big part. Something as basic as smiling, something as basic as, offering them a cup of tea or coffee makes a whole lot of difference. But one biggest thing that we in our business that helps us to reach the core of the customer is personalization. We offer bespoke tailoring in our store. So when you make a product to a customer that is totally to their size, to their specifications, to their tastes and requirements, and when they feel that only they can wear that garment and they can go somewhere and no one else will actually wear that, that makes a very big difference, in reaching the core of the customer, to the reaching the core of the customer.
Lovely. Rahul, if I come to you, when you talk about Beanly Coffee, it's a relatively new brand. When you talk about the changing, evolving consumers, we have seen boomers, we have seen millennials, we have seen Gen Z, and now Gen Alpha, and probably everyone is a coffee lover. How do you cope up with the changing consumer mannerisms and with the products that you put out in the market?
So I think one thing is clear that we've realized it's very important to first have your customer figured out. Like sir already said, loyalty is very difficult to find with consumers. But also with coffee, for us being a fairly new brand, not a legacy player, a lot of customers who try our product first are people who are, looking for something new, or they just want to try our product. If they're trying our product, subsequently they might try another product as well. So to keep that customer engaged and bring that customer back is a very big challenge for us, but also something that we work, tirelessly towards. Whether it's through our Instagram, creating engaging content to keep those people glued, whether it's through NPS tracking, reaching out to customers, that's something we do very actively. Randomly picking out customers and we call them just to get their feedback on what they thought about the product that they ordered. Or even another way, I think, for us, because coffee is a product that a lot of people, so what we do a lot is we speak to a lot of customers, especially those with complaints, and I think that helps us build a community and gets them to come back to us. Customer service is something that we put very high on our agenda of things to do. We never fail at that. And the angrier the customer, the more active we are in resolving their issue. So I think these things are there. And then obviously for us also a big thing is millennials and Gen Z are a big customer base for us. So understanding their pulse, what they're leaning towards, what are their preferences, what are they looking at nowadays. And trying to emulate or be in places where we will find them, whether it's via ads or via, a plugin somewhere else. We do a lot of, we go to colleges and do events where we sample our products out. So just being there in their face, I think that is something that helps us do that.
So an omni-channel presence is what you're catering to as well.
Yeah.
Beanly is fairly a new brand, but Barista has been there for ages. Like when I was a child, I remember Barista was one thing that we used to go to, prime places to be at. How, with the changing consumer preferences, what strategies are you employing in order to maintain that image, that reputation, that consumer centricity? How do you ensure that you are consumer centric truly when it comes to a brand like Barista?
So to answer to that, so we belong to a cafe category. If I were to kind of look at the way we look at our business, cafe is what we break down as cafe as a word itself, we broke it into 4 key pillars: consumer, adaptability, frequency, and engagement. And that's how we look at our business. So if you were to look at these 4 pillars, pretty much addresses the large moot point is to kind of engage with consumers, look at solutions which are more adaptable basis your consumer needs, looking at increasing frequency, which is one of the foremost pillars for you to kind of create an engagement with the consumer and to get a recall at store level or at any engagement point, the way we are interacting with our guests. And also consumer again, which is the core, is always remains the core. That itself is the biggest opportunity. You have to customize solutions basis the customer needs. Anurag just spoke about that there is a lot of premiumization which is happening, and there is an adaptability and a consumer shift in the last 4-5 years to really consume something which is premium. Today, even the middle class is actually looking to create an opportunity to engage and consume a premium product. So again, with the changing lifestyle, with the changing consumer preferences and so much of digital content being available, the consumer is very, very well educated. You need to create preferences, product profiles, something which suits the customer and your audience. What we have been able to do as a brand is, now that we are pretty much in 100 plus cities, one solution does not fit all, and that's something which we have understood well as a brand, and we have been able to customize solutions basis the locations and the audience we are targeting, whether it is the age group which is 40 plus, which is also a very, very important age group for us, and the new age consumer which we are engaging. Almost 40 to 45% of our consumer set today is repeat customer, and that is something which we take very, very seriously. There are a lot of new activations in terms of data profiling, consumer CRMs, etc., which give you a very, very meaningful insight on the data to really create those data into meaningful information and then create target user content, which is something which will help you to yield more value. And that is something which we have been able to do well as a brand, and which is why the journey has gone pretty strong. And the way it is growing, we are heading towards being the leading cafe chain in India sometime in 2025.
So, Mr. Rajesh Dewani, you mentioned earlier that you are selling sleep.
Yes.
As Anurag sir loves to sleep,
Yes.
he prefers 8 hours of sleep every day. So, preferably. So, since you are selling sleep, how would you say that what has been the key challenge in this transition? Because naturally, earlier there was a point of view that founders have, that CEOs have, MDs had, that how to reach out to the consumer. Now, you are there in the market, and the consumers are also now choosing you. They have the ability with that omni-channel presence. What are the key challenges that you have witnessed in this transition from consumer at the core to consumer to the core of the consumers?
Yeah, thank you. See, the key challenge which most of the retailers find is the human resource. Because what the CEO, happens in the boardroom does not directly go to the store level or the shop floor level. Because that is the only place where the connect is happening. A customer coming is only connecting to the person on the shop floor. So are we able to skill them up? Are we able to deliver them, or make them deliver what the boardroom wants them to do? So that's one of the most important things. Plus, again, remuneration. So what if you really want to get to the core of customers, you really need feedback and more of reviews. So these are the things which most of the stores are afraid of, most of the businesses are afraid of taking from the customer. So, how would you make the human resource get remunerated by not the quantity or value of sale, but the quality of sale, which is very important. So these things really matter out there. And scaling up with the quality which we are talking about is again a challenge. So these are the major challenges we find.
Understood. Sanjay sir, on your end, if I ask that, Bausch and Lomb, especially it has eye contact. Eye contact is what you focus on. Of course, there have been changing times in this industry as well. We have seen from people being scared to use it, and now even if people have absolutely perfect eyes, they want lens, contact lens to themselves. How do you see this transition, and what challenges do you cater to in your industry in this transition?
So I met somebody from Businessworld at lunch, and he said he was working for a contact lens company as a marketing agency 30 years back. And they were doing the work to give trials to the consumers, right? So the business has not really changed. The penetration levels are quite low in the contact lens industry, not only in India, like worldwide. So people think if I put something in my eye, whether that's kind of really safe or not, which phenomena we call also as like pocophobia, like I'm poking something into my eye. But as a company, as a brand, I think it's our responsibility more so because we are also the market leaders in the country. How do you get like more consumers into the category? So just to give you some numbers, out of 100 people who require vision correction, only like 6 to 7% of the people would wear contact lenses. And now with color lenses coming in, the target consumers, like everybody, like you can, even if you don't have eye power, you are a potential consumer. So we segregate the consumers into different categories. So that's one. And how do you kind of reach out to the consumer to get more people into the category? And we do like various stuff around that. So we would be present at the retail store where we would give like a lot of trials for the optometrist to give it to any potential consumer, we also call like patient, walking in, and we give them the trials for free. Then on the color lens side, we will go to the colleges, malls, where we do like various activities. And in terms of now what we're doing is, even if you launch any new product, so you would do like a lot of market research and other stuff, whether this color would really kind of would be liked by a consumer or no. So if we get some color and people don't like it, for example, if I get a red colored like contact lens, people won't take it. So you need to be very, very careful like what products you're launching. So that's where like you do kind of different stuff. And you present like both online, offline, and then various things you do.
So you mentioned online and offline. Mayank, I would actually like to ask you on this, that with the digitization coming into place, Mohanlal Sons have been, present traditional retail, and they have been offering those experiences. But with this digitization, a lot of, consumers prefer to go online and see how things are working, the price rates, or maybe how the, product looks like, the design. How would you say, how do you create or balance that centricity between the digital and traditional retail stores, and also add a personal touch to it? How do you strike that balance?
That's a very good question. So in our product line, customers still want to touch and feel the product as much as possible, but the discovery of the brand, especially in the newer cities that we go to, happens online. So we have we've revamped our website completely. So, I would not say every article that is available offline, but about 50% of the articles that we sell in stores are now available online as well. So the customer is able to explore what the products are. They're able to see the pricing, the new collection online. We have become very active on social media as well. We are looking at hiring influencers as well. We've just recently done a music video with Jaslin Royale, and Devakonda is part of that. So, we're trying to do is cater to, the newer generation. And also, when the customer now comes to the store, their expectation is like, they should have endless options like they have online. So online you can go and search for, say, a cream color sherwani or size 50, and Amazon will show up some option. So what we've done is, even we've trained and we started giving out tablets to our sales staff in stores. And so they have the same functionality at the store level. If a customer asks for anything, they can search on the tablet and it will come up with pictures, even if it's not present in that particular store. If, for example, they come to my Jammu store and the piece is in my CP store. So their customer can show them what the garment is, at least the picture of it, and that garment can be called, or it can be ordered on the tablet as well. So we're working in that direction, but it's still a work in progress.
Understood. Rajesh Jain sir. So Lacoste also being a brand there in the industry, with this omni-channel presence that the consumers today are wanting everywhere, they want every option available. And since the topic again is on consumers and how the consumer patterns are changing, how do you maintain that balance between online presence and offline presence? And of course, that personal touch, that personalization, we were having a conversation before, that personalization is also very much required in today's date. How do you strike that balance between the two of them?
So, first of all, we believe in one brand, one voice. All our merchandise, whether online or offline, it's exactly the same. The pricing is exactly the same. In fact, we go to the extent of mapping the consumers also. As I was just explaining in the first question, that we have a beautiful loyalty program called Club Lacoste. If a customer walks into our store and he buys something and he or she accrues some loyalty points, they can redeem it anywhere in the country, including online channel, and vice versa. If they buy online and they can redeem it offline also. So from that perspective, we look at the customer as one single customer, and we see a lot of customers who are online customers also and offline customers also. It's not that there is a complete segregation between the two. When you come to the omni-channel part, omni-channel, I was just explaining that omni-channel in terms of looking at the customer as one customer and having multi-channel presence, yes, we are pretty much there. And obviously, nobody can say that it's over because everybody is evolving. The retail itself is evolving across the world, and especially in India, it's evolving quite fast. On the other hand, if we talk about omni-channel in terms of mapping of inventory, that if you don't get, let's say, a product in an offline store, as you said that on online, as Mayank was also saying that online you have so much of range available because the online has the ability and capability of presenting and having all that inventory, but in offline channel, you have limited space. So you can't have all the options available, all the sizes there. Then we do have omni-channel. If a customer walks into our store and if he doesn't find a size or a color or a particular product, we can always immediately order it from some other store or from online or from our mother warehouse, from where it can get delivered to the customer's choice of place. However, having said that, I would also like to add here that omni-channel in terms of inventory mapping has not been very successful, especially in our kind of brands. And also, I see a lot of other retailers are also saying the same thing. Because typically what happens, if a customer who is willing to wait, they would go online and they would buy and they would wait for, let's say, from 1 day to 5 days, depending upon where they are located and what are the delivery channels they are. But if a customer is coming to offline store, they're coming there for full experience. They get complete experience, customer service, look and feel. They feel very nice when they come to the store. Either they come alone or with their family or with their friends. They get complete experience. And if they like something, in our category, they would like to immediately own it. They don't want to wait even for a day, even for few hours to have that product in their hand. So hence from that perspective, omni-channel for mapping of inventory is not very, very successful. Yes, it is there. It is a tool and we use it, but not very successfully in our case or in several other
traditional retail aspect works more in your industry, you would say?
No. So we have a beautiful mix between the online and offline. Traditional retail, if you're saying that brick and mortar is traditional retail, as Anurag was also putting it, or brick and mortar stores are not going to go away. These online and offline are two beautiful channels of distribution, which in a country like India, in my view, will coexist for several years. Because offline provides you complete brand experience and online provides you convenience. So online and offline are two beautiful channels and they provide, they're complementary to each other.
Lovely. Rahul, quickly, if I want to ask you, like when you talked about millennials, you talked about Gen Z, you talked about, going to schools and colleges. So there's a lot of personalization in today's day that happens. Also, there is data that we are collecting. There are privacy concerns that we are, progressing towards. How do you channel that and, also respect their privacy in terms when you're articulating the data?
As standard, what happens is, so like any D2C business nowadays, there's so much access to knowledge and most of us, we partake in retention marketing activities and we record everyone's, number, etc. It automatically gets stored. But, there are ways where you can kind of still market to that customer while keeping their preferences in mind. There are all of these tools, they allow you to kind of get their permission for what you can and what you cannot do, what you can store and what you cannot store. Or even if you do store, you let them know and then they can write back to you with a click of a button saying that, guys, I don't want you to market to me. So, these tools are there. So, having said that, to quite an extent, those who want to keep their privacy intact, they do, help us with that. But, yeah, I think that's pretty much how we tackle it.
So a lot of privacy concerns are taken care of.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Also, Mr. Rajesh Dewani, when I ask you that, of course, that privacy concern is naturally there, but also with the emerging technologies, how do you maintain that balance when it comes to also taking their, taking care of their privacy, because they don't want the data to be shared. So how do you take care of that?
See, data is always there with you, but it is the ethics and value of the company which owns the data, which have the data. I would not say own the data, who has access to the data. It is very important that your ethics and values you should not be against what they have shared. And more important is what they have shared for is very important. It is for service. So most of the messages should be service or information or knowledge oriented rather than promotion messages. So we are very clear on that, and because we handle very premium and high-end customers who doesn't want to be bogged. So as a company, it is your choice how you want to use that data.
So Sanjay sir, your last comments on it? On the
Yeah,
data
I
privacy
think
concern?
being a healthcare company, it becomes all the more important that data privacy, and specifically with the laws in US and India becoming too tight around data privacy. I think every company is kind of accounting for that. In our company, for example, any offline, online, where we collect data, I even don't have access to that data. So the way we store it, we've got softwares. We, as a company, like for example, somebody wants a trial lens, so we would direct them to a retail store. So the retail store would also not get a number, so they just get a dial button. And if the consumer is willing to give, then it's between the retailer and the consumer. So many practices, softwares and other stuff you're using as a company to do that.
So we are almost out of time, but Rajat sir, if you want to, like in one sentence, if you want to close the argument.
The data in the current set is becoming very, very important, and as everybody rightly said, there's a lot of data and consumer data which we are storing at our ecosystem. The intent has to be clear. I think I completely agree to the point that you can't be really pushy about your campaigns to the consumer. It has to be done in a way that it is something which is acceptable in the same spirit. There is a lot of data to kind of use, but again, as I said, there are a lot of tools available today to look at recreating the data, curating it in a way that it at least becomes meaningful. It may become informative, occasionally it can be more marketable, but largely if it is something which is informative, the consumer would consume it in the right spirit, and I think that's the way to kind of handle a certain level of data which we are all getting on a daily basis.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much, dear panelists. Our session is over, so thank you so much for your insightful sessions. Thank you.